cracking up. Festival is on now in the nation's capital, and going to be headlining on Friday is Ron James, and he's in the studio.
Pleasure to be here.
Good to have you.
Thank you very much.
The funniest man in Canada?
Well, they said that once in the Victoria Times, and it cost me a lot of money to get that plug, but I'm happy to say it was money well invested.
Is that on your official business card?
No, it's not really. I don't even have an official business card. I suppose I should. You know, 36 years in the business. About time I turned into a professional. But I've toured the country extensively, and Ottawa was always a great stop for me. Out on a P, and I always played the center point.
Yeah, nice place to be.
Pardon me. And it was the first theater ever that I sold out almost 20 years ago. Yeah, and I got. I first started moving into soft seaters with my producer, Chantero Productions, out of Eastern Ontario in Avonmore. And so we tried half a dozen dates, and holy jumpins, the center point sold out. And it was in the infancy of the Comedy Network, and I wasn't on CBC all the time, other than comics and then. And so it's always been a great stop for me. And now, of course, with cracking up the capital, being at the TD Centre, I'm just really delighted to be part of this enterprise and charity. There's a web of charities that it's going to, from Wabano, which is a beautiful center for Indigenous people, to women's shelters and assorted charities and houses. So it's great. And we had a John Candy event last night where his family was in town. And
that's great.
Yeah, and lots of folks spoke. Margaret Trudeau spoke, and it was wonderful to see his family there and to see all the clips of this great giant.
You know, John Candy, I think there was this collective mourning across the country. You know, I'll never forget the day when I heard that he had passed away.
Well, he personified the values that we collectively share, you know. I mean, he's the guy that would... Canadians are the kind of people who buy around without being asked.
Yeah.
Right? You know, we'll have your back. We've got foxhole integrity, and there's iron-hard strength of humility about us. And I think that John's vulnerability, coupled with that enormous talent, was, you know, his calling card and his greatest strength. And, you know, comedians as a rule, you know, we're all fractured. The world is fractured. The brain is an organ just like the heart or the kidneys or the liver, and everybody needs to do what they can to heal the fractures, and I think that's what this festival is all about.
We just, we won't talk about John for much longer, but we just showed my 9-year-old daughter the movie Uncle Buck recently.
Fantastic.
Great movie, yeah.
Yeah, it's a classic. So it's a great rainy day movie, too.
Yeah, for sure. So you love coming to Ottawa.
I sure do.
Because of, you know, selling out here, and that was great for you. But you tour right across the country.
Across the country.
What are your favorites? I know you're going to be out in BC in the springtime, but where's your other favorite that you like to...
Anywhere they're laughing, really. I'm that shallow.
Yeah.
You know, I have those shallow showbiz attributes.
That's important.
Wherever they're laughing. Exactly. Oh, Sault Ste. Marie in the wintertime? Fantastic town. You got to go more often. But it's, you know, there's a charm about traveling the country, and there's a warmth. If there's one thing I've learned about Canada and Canadians is we don't like our comedy mean. The country's more about accommodation than domination, and you know, granted, like any nation, you know, we've all had our dark episodes of history, but for the most part, we weren't sired in the smoke and fire of revolution, right? So we're not really contentious. So when you tip the apple cart here, especially during the you know, the days of the neocons' tenure for 8 years, you had, you know, when they were stifling dissent and they had the jackboot on the throat of free speech, for guys like me that rock the apple cart, it could get a little quiet in Tory enclaves.
Yeah.
But it's important to rock the apple cart, and it's important to do it judiciously. I mean, the bottom line for me, with an audience enjoying themselves as far as favorite places, is it's more about them than it is about me. And you got to strike a balance between artistic needs and audience expectation, right? But if somebody's paying $50 to come out in a snowstorm or in inclement weather and get a babysitter, when quite frankly, everything can keep them at home. Look at Netflix. You don't watch a TV program anymore. You binge watch it. That's a digital crack house. Netflix.
You're right.
You know, 72 hours later, you're sitting in your chair, an emaciated husk, stinky in your own filth, bleeding from the eyes. Forget about watching The Walking Dead. You've joined them, right?
Yeah,
and so to get people to come to a theater and see you, I have a simple mandate. If the ushers aren't wiping the seats down after I'm finished, I haven't done my job, right? You want people to have an authentic experience, and that's the beauty about performing live.
Now, what about this event that you're in town for, the underlying factor that you're supporting so many good causes here in Ottawa, including mental health? Why is that important to you?
Well, it's, you know, the bark of the black dog runs through my family, right? And it's been there historically, and people wore it as, or dealt with it by sweeping it under the rug, by
You're not alone there.
carrying the shame, right? And, you know, I had my own bouts with the bark of the black dog myself. And I know a lot of my compadres in the comedy trenches have. And I think it's like any comedian, it's our way of contributing to society and giving back and making sense of the chaos we're all walking through in the language of laughs.
Okay. Thanks for being here today,
Thank
Ron.
you so much.
So you're going to be at TD Place?
TD Place,
on
Friday night, 17th. Come on out. Going to be fun. We'll cut the edge on winter's dark dirge, have a couple of laughs, and raise money for mental health.
Thanks a lot, Ron. Great
Thank
to meet you.
God
Enjoy
bless
your
you.
time in Ottawa.
Thank you so much.
That's our show for today. Remember, Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Happy Valentine's Day. Enjoy the rest of your day.